The Solo Show, as always, is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Coming up on The Solo Show.
Can I give you a quick prediction?
Yeah.
This would be typical Survivor editing at its finest. You have the original 6, right? And got voted off last week in a double. After that, we'll talk about who gets voted out today. Who was in the 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say the next 4 people voted out are the other 4 of the original 6.
You're probably right.
Stan and Dan catch up 2 weeks for the price of 1 as we continue with episode 8 of season 46 of Survivor on The Solo Show.
I'm Realtor Victor Naraki, and I specialize in living near Disney World. I work directly with you. I'm not a referral agent. A referral agent takes your name, takes your number, and then sells you to a random agent for a stake in that commission. When you call me, you get me, and I am there for you from the initial consultation through to closing and all the steps in between. You get me. Now, if you want to reach me, visit disneyatyourdoorstep.com for all my links, and you will get me.
And when you do get Victor, tell him The Solo Show sent you. I told them. I said, don't drink the water on the island. I said, drink the bottled water. I told Stan, drink the bottled water. I told Dan, drink the bottled water. Did they listen to me? No. Now, we're catching up 2 weeks worth of episodes of Survivor on The Solo Show. I don't know. Sound the horn. I told them.
Thousands apply, but only 18 are chosen to be abandoned in Fiji for the adventure of a lifetime. Who will have what it takes to outwit, outplay, and outlast all the rest? Survivor 46.
Hello and welcome to another edition of The Solo Show. I am Stan Solo as always, and today we're going to continue with our Survivor. We're doing Survivor Episode 8, Hide and Seek. The original air date was April 17th, 2024 on CBS, and it's a 1.5 hours long, or 90 minutes if you people are in the metric system. I'm going to bring in my co-host, Dan. Come on in.
Woo, Stan, good to be back. Sorry we missed the last couple weeks, but good to be back talking Survivor.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks for Dan and I. We weren't able to record. Sorry about that. I mean, I'm sure you people will live. We're going to take a little cut off our pay for those. But anyways, it is what it is. We're going to go right into spoilers right off the hop. I just going to really quick kind of go over what happened last week. So last week they got the full merge. Finally, the week before they did like that pretend fake full merge. Tim got voted out. Who got voted out the week before that we missed?
Soda got voted out.
Well, Soda was after Tim.
Soda was after Tim. It was Tim, and then before that was Mariah.
Okay, and then Soda got out after Tim, and she's the first member of our jury. We're already into jury selections, so that's interesting.
Goes quick, huh? Goes quick.
Yeah. I was sorry to see Tim go. How about you?
Yeah, I liked him. I knew you liked him, right? So actually, when he got voted out, I said to myself, "Ooh, I wonder what Stan feels about this." I just don't think at the end it showed that he wasn't that strong of a player. And that he didn't really know what was going on at all times.
No, he wasn't a strong player sociably, I don't think.
Yep, exactly.
And physically, I don't think he was up to Q's and Hunter's size anyways for physical. But anyways, it is what it is. I'm sorry to see him go. But what is important is Soda made jury. So there we go.
She did.
This week, I felt like it was almost, they could have called this the Q show because he got a lot of airtime.
A lot of attention and the craziest type of attention, right? From one extreme to another.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we'll get into the tribal later, but yeah, he talk about, I don't know. And he seems to think he's like the mafia kingpin or something, like he's running the show.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely is being portrayed as someone who thinks they're smarter than they actually are.
Yeah, and that never bodes well.
Never bodes well.
I know this guy.
If we had to pick right now one survivor who's definitely not going to win, it's gotta be you, right?
Well, actually, we'll get to it, but he's on my high list for going next week.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah. They get back to camp, and I guess Venus got a vote against her, and she didn't know who it was, or 2 votes against her, and she was, I don't know, freaking out. And then this was all before the opening, all the arguments and the talking about Q and all that. That was before the opening music.
Yeah.
And a weird thing happened. So when the opening music came on with that trumpet and that horn and all those drums and all that, my cat was on my lap, started freaking out. She's never, I don't know what clicked in her head, but the entire introduction theme song, she was looking around and her eyes got really big, her fur on her tail got really big, and she's looking like something was going to attack her.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what got into her. It was weird. Q talking about the Q skirt.
That was funny. That was funny.
And
did you notice the final tribal? He had the Q skirt on the whole time.
Yeah. He wanted Jeff to invest in it or something like that. He was. He's asking everybody, "Have you ordered the Q skirt yet?" He's going around.
Very funny.
So Tim was part of the 6-person alliance, and he's gone now. So Q needs another person for the 6th. So he turns to Charlie and wants to get Charlie to come in. And I think Charlie was honored by it, but at the same time, he was like, I'm not going to stick with these jokers. Like, I'm you got the 2 strongest guys in me. Well, I'm not going to stay in this group. I want these guys gone. Like,
can I give you a quick prediction?
Yeah.
This would be typical Survivor editing at its finest. You have the original 6, right? And Tim got voted off last week in a double. After that, we'll talk about who gets voted out today. He was in the 6. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say the next 4 people voted out are the other 4 of the original 6.
You're probably right. Yeah. So Q, Hunter, Kevin, Maria, Tiff, and then the former number 6 was Tim. So the first merge, first person gone is one of the 6.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Should he stay with the 6? Do you think? Is this well, I guess not, because you think they're going to be picked off one at a time. Because ideally they have the numbers.
Well, I mean, what's there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 of them left now, right?
Right.
But no alliance means anything this year. Like that 6 alliance means nothing this year.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone's coupling up, and what's ironic about it is that the 9 people that are left. Do you know it's 3, 3, and 3?
Yeah.
Of the original tribes. How crazy is that?
Yeah. Especially considering at the beginning there, that purple tribe was just getting picked off.
I know.
Like 4 weeks in a row.
I know.
So Q comes up with this idea. Let's play hide and seek. We're bored anyways. I don't know why no one's looking for an idol, but instead they decide to play hide and seek. So some of the, like Venus in particular and Q, they start comparing how people play hide and seek as to how they would play Survivor, which I don't know if I really understand the theory there. Like they were, you know what I mean? Like that person went deep into the grass. That means that they'll go anywhere.
They'll do anything.
Yeah, they'll do anything. I mean, I wouldn't go deep in the grass playing hide and seek. Are you kidding me? With those snakes and spiders and alligators and panthers and whatever else they got hanging around.
Would you go in a tree 10 feet above shelter?
That I would do. Yeah. I mean, it might be monkeys up there, but
I'm out.
You're not done. You're done. So Hunter picked a pretty good hiding spot. Like
it was amazing.
It was good, and I thought Ben was really good too, taking that tarp and covering himself up.
You love it. I thought he did.
I love the ones that have the red bandana still on their head, playing hide and seek. That shows that they're easy to fool, because they didn't take their red bandana off, put it in their pocket. So
it seems like Q always needs a reason to vote people off, like the dumbest reasons, right? And like no matter what happens, he's like, they have to be voted off.
Yeah. And his mind is set. Like he's locked in. Like he has no flexibility at all. He did this week, I guess.
He knew he had to, because he had no control.
Yeah, but so Ben and Hunter won. Good on them. I mean, they won hide and seek. Tevin was painting that checkerboard. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was amazing how he's doing that.
He did a great job.
Oh my gosh.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, look at those lines.
Yeah. Like that means something in Survivor there. He could, he stays within the lines.
Yeah.
So Tiff tells Q that she wants to see Mariah voted off, or is it Marie?
Maria.
Yeah, so Tiff tells Q she wants Maria voted off. Well, so that the hairs on the back of Q's neck go up because Tiff is one of the 6.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to get rid of Mariah now because
Mhm.
anyone that goes against the 6, he takes it personal. So he wants to vote Tiff off now.
Yep.
And Survivor, whenever the first name that comes up as the person that's going to get voted off, you know they're safe.
Yep.
Every
Oh, yeah.
week.
That is Survivor editing 101. They
Yeah.
have always done that.
Yeah. So this is where Q's kind of thinking he's like a mob boss because he's going, oh, well, she has to go. I'm sorry, I'm the kingpin here, and I say what goes. I'm pulling all the shots. No, you're not, Q. I'm sorry. So they get to the immunity challenge, and this is a classic Survivor challenge where they're basically telephone poles with some notches cut into them for your feet that aren't very big, and you have to climb up these poles. You're not allowed to put your hand on top of the pole, and as soon as your feet hit the ground, you're out. And Jeff asks if anybody wants to not participate. 4 people don't participate. I have a bag of rice. I will last you till the end of the season. And they couldn't get 4 people to volunteer for that, so Dan, if I know I couldn't stay up there for very long. You might be able to. You're probably in better shape than I am. But I would see myself saying, well, I'm not going to win this anyway, so I might as well get the rice for the tribe.
Yeah, I think it depends on who's out there. It depends on the season. It depends as far as where you feel you rank in the pecking order.
Yeah.
And I think this year you had a lot of people that legitimately thought they could at least compete for the win. You have a guy like Hunter who's everyone's scared of, but typically guys like Hunter do not last long in these types of challenges.
I was shocked he won this. I was absolutely shocked. Yeah,
exactly. And
usually
it's
a smaller female that's lighter.
Yeah,
that can put themselves up that long.
Right.
So
if it were me, I would probably bail as well, especially if I was hungry. Now that's the other thing. Q is obviously starving, right? Yeah. He wants that rice so bad, but it didn't look like other people were like really worried about it. You know, so maybe they're not as hungry as we think they are,
And the other one too that bowed out, if she was the first one, I can't remember if it was Kenzie or Liz.
It was Liz. It was Liz. Yep.
She's allergic to everything except for rice.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So the 2 people that wanted to do it the most were doing it for selfish reasons. They were both starving. That's what they need to eat.
Yeah. Now, was it? I seem to recall one year, Jeff, in order to get them to speed up, instead of counting down to 10, he held the bag of rice up and stabbed a knife in the bottom. And the rice was coming out. And he said, "Your bag is getting smaller by the second, guys." Did he not do that before, or am I imagining it?
No, he did that a couple years. I think it was last year. He did it.
Yeah. That was the best. Why didn't he do that again? Like, seriously, I love that when he did that last year.
So real quick, I mentioned this to Stan before we started, but one thing about this episode I found very untypical of Survivor. It took 37 minutes. I checked the DVR time. 37 minutes before we saw Jeff. Then there was the whole discussion of rice. So it took 47 minutes into the episode, which is typically about the time you start Tribal Council. Took 47 minutes to start a challenge. And I wonder how people feel about that. I personally love the strategy talk and some of the fun and games that they do. I could watch that stuff all day.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if people tuned in and stayed tuned in to watch a game of hide and seek, right?
Hide and seek was entertaining, though.
It was entertaining, but it wasn't typical Survivor. That's all. No. I'm just wondering. I'd like to hear what the people have to say about it.
Yeah, and the other thing too, I'm wondering for people listening, would you have stepped forward for the race? Let us know. Mention it in the comments or send me an email or text message, whatever. Would you have stepped forward? I'm curious to see. So not enough people step forward, and they all have to play. The other thing too is Jeff. This is a classic Survivor challenge. And I'm trying to think of some other classic Survivor challenges that are out there. And one of the ones I thought of was that I really like is that one where you have the balls and you have that contraction kind of where you have to drop the ball and it goes around a thing.
In a rhythm. Yep.
Yeah.
You have to do it in
your back and you have to add another ball and it goes around. But that's usually later. That's usually like when they're down to 4 people or 3 people.
Yep. I like the simple one where they just have like a plate or a disc and they have a ball and you just have to keep the ball on the disc. And as soon as your ball falls off, you're out. That one they did forever, and
they do.
I love those simple ones like that.
Yeah. This So this is where my favorite line happened, was during his challenge. We always like to mention our favorite lines. And when this is Charlie, he's up on the thing, and I'm trying to think. They were talking about seasons or something like that, and then Charlie says, "Wait till the 47th or the
Several.
40, yeah, the 47th."
You stole my favorite line, by the way. But
Oh, that was yours too?
Yeah, exactly. So the 40 several, as he said, season 40 several next year.
Yeah, that's it. Season 40 several. That was it. Yeah. So that was my favorite line, and that happened during his challenge.
I do like the fact that they're showing a lot of the what used to be viewed as like behind the scenes, but it shows like the jokingness that they all have with Jeff, because these are the only people they talk to, right? Like, so like it doesn't matter that Jeff's the host and the kingpin here. They still have, everyone's still joking around with Jeff no matter what, and I love that they're like showing that this year.
Well, even like Charlie, he was almost off already, and he goes, "Hey Jeff, can we make a deal for the rice now?" Like that type of stuff. And yeah, I'm glad you and I are on the same page, though. We have the same favorite. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
So a bunch of fall out early. Q's out right away. He's happy that he's angry that nobody else stepped up for the rice. So it gets down to the two, Hunter and Charlie, which is, again, it's kind of surprising. It's two guys.
No, was it Hunter and Charlie? Oh, yeah, it was Hunter and Charlie. You're right. Yeah.
Or was it Venus?
No, Venus was third.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Hunter and Charlie were the final two. I kind of thought Charlie was going to win that for a second.
Yeah. So, in the beginning, I thought maybe he had a shot, but I got to be honest. Once I realized that Hunter was doing Hunter things, I was like, all right, this is done. I really thought, I was like, I could just see. I mean, he was at the top of the poll the entire time. I actually thought he was going to get disqualified because he was so close to the top that I thought, you're not allowed to touch the top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't you give yourself a little room there? Like, not get near that top.
Himself the whole pole of room. That's what he was doing.
No.
But yeah, and then after he wins, he shows off by doing that kind of a backflip off the thing.
I wanted to bring that up because I actually think that's a bad move. Like, don't gloat. Everyone already knows how good you are.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I had this trick in my back pocket. And I'm sure he did. I'm sure he practiced at home because that's what he does. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know, save it for All-Stars, like.
Yeah, they gotta get him back on All-Stars. He's like he ranks up with Boston Rob in my eye.
He's great. I mean, we got to see how he finishes, and we got to see, just because he's good at challenges, let's see what happens when he needs to make a move. We haven't seen that yet. He's been very lucky on a good try.
He kind of did that this week because they all wanted to vote out was it Tiff? And then they switched it to someone else was going to get voted off instead. And Hunter got right in there and he said, well, hang on. And he started polling people. Like, you got in there. Like, he didn't just, okay, fine, just tell me who I'm voting for. He got involved in it. So
he did, but he lost. He lost the battle.
Yeah.
He didn't win, and that's, and the other part is, I wonder if Hunter's name would be thrown around if he didn't win immunity,
Well, that's just it. But this is only his first win. I think it's many, but it's his first win.
Yeah.
So they get back to camp. Q wants to vote out Tiff. Nobody else wants to. Oh, they wanted Tevin. That's what it was. They all wanted to get Tevin gone. Yeah. And Hunter's going, well, wait a minute. No, I don't want Tevin gone. And he starts, kind of, and it didn't work for him. But Liz wants Tevin gone because he's too sociable. Was her thought. I don't know. Like, I can't picture Tevin winning too many of these challenges.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I do think that everyone kind of likes him, and he can't talk. So
Yeah.
I don't disagree with their thinking.
Yeah. So if they're thinking Tevin's too sociable, they got to be thinking Ben is too sociable. So he 100%. Might be a target for next week.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I think that, more so maybe than the strong guys. I still think Hunter's probably the number one target.
Yeah. So Q gets upset because he's not in control anymore. He's kind of pouty almost. He goes to, you could see it was bugging him. It was really bugging him that he wasn't in control. The Alliance of Six looks very weak at this point.
It does. Looks very weak.
And the other thing too is this is the only alliance we're kind of hearing about. We're not hearing about any other alliances really, other than like partners, like you said.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I think the strongest alliance right now is Charlie and Maria. I really think they're the strongest alliance, and like they kind of like put hints in that weeks ago.
Yeah,
they had the choice of going either way, and I don't know if we're going to do predictions here, but I'll tell you my prediction. I think they're going to the finals, the two of them.
Could be, yeah. So we get to Tribal Council. This was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I think Jeff said the same thing. This is the weirdest tribal council. So Q tells everybody to vote him off.
Yeah.
Like, generally speaking, that's not a very good strategy because you're going home then. How does he not go home after saying that?
Well, I actually think it's very smart to keep him. I mean, if this guy's head is not in the game to the point where he's telling you to vote him out, no, quit. That's what I would say. If you want to, I'm not gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna keep you now because you're so weak. And if you really don't want to be here, you quit.
So do you think he was serious, or was he playing some kind of strategy? Like, was he pouting and this is why he's quitting? Or
I think he was pouting. He was definitely serious because if they voted him out, he would have been out. It's not like he could be like, oh, just kidding,
Yeah, exactly. So did he have a plan other than he was upset?
I don't think so. I think he's a very emotional, just makes decisions on the fly type of guy.
Yeah, I guess so. But he thinks he says how strategic he is and all this and that.
He also said, do you remember a couple episodes ago, he said, oh, I'm going to quit. And then he goes to the camera. He's like, I'd never quit,
Right. You're right. Yes. Back when you're right. He did. He even talked to the girls about voting him off.
Yeah.
On that. You're right. Exactly. I forgot about that. Yeah. So Charlie tells Tiff that she was the target for some reason.
That was so great. Her reaction was priceless.
Yeah. So she goes around to everybody saying, don't vote me. Don't vote me. Jeff calls it, this is one of the craziest tribals ever. And he's not wrong.
Yeah. It was insane.
So what I liked was when everybody went up to vote, just about everybody went up to vote, and they were all shaking their heads, kind of putting their hands up in the air. Who am I supposed to vote for? Like, I'm wondering if they asked the cameraman, who did the other person vote for or something, because somehow they all ended up agreeing on who to vote for.
Yeah.
But yeah, each one of them got up there and they're like, they're shaking their heads and picking up the marker. They were all confused. So I don't know. So Venus gets two votes, and Tevin gets the rest. They all voted Tevin to go. And I'm sorry about this one too. I like Tevin.
I like Tevin too. I thought he was a good player. But those social butterflies, they are almost, if not more dangerous than the strong guys.
Yeah. I'd rather see Tevin go than Ben, that's for sure.
I love Ben. I still think Ben's the funniest.
Yeah.
And we said this, I think the first episode we recorded, but it really is a good cast as far as personalities. I'm very happy with the different personalities that they have, and they all have their individual characteristics that we know already. It's halfway through the season, but we should know them by now. But it was not hard to pick them apart.
Yeah, for sure. Anything to talk about this one before we get into next week's?
I just think, I think that this is a season that's being set up. Like I said, I think Marie and Charlie have a good shot. I think Kenzie has a good shot. And I think Liz has a good shot. Those are my 4 picks right now. I know that's cheating, picking like almost half of the people that are left. But,
and I'll also take Ben and Q and...
But those are the 4.
Okay, it's that time, Dan.
Next time on Survivor.
Okay, so they give us the little clip there. There's not much shown on the little clip, other than everybody is turning on everybody. It was kind of like panic mode times 100 is what that clip kind of showed us.
Yep, I agree. I think that they'll probably have an episode next week where there's like 3 people that it could be any of them, and come down to the wire. Maybe even an idol is played. Who knows? Maybe it's time for Hunter to use his idol. I think that's the type of episode we're going to get next week.
Could be. You might be right. So who do you think is going next week? You pick one person.
I'm going to go with either Q or I'll go with Q. I still think Q.
Yeah, Q's my pick as well. I can't see him saying vote me out and then they don't and then they come back to I don't know. And he's getting pouty. He's getting pouty. They're not showing it so much, but you can feel it that he's getting.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you for listening to us. If you want to reach out to me, the Solo Show 01@gmail.com. If you want to send an email or just send me a message or go to the Solo Show Facebook page and message from there. I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this year's Survivor? Who are your picks? And leave us a positive review if you're on whatever you're listening to, iTunes or I don't know, Spotify. Yeah, there's a whole lot of them out there. We're on YouTube. And with that, Ken, the tribe has spoken.
If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. Like the show and give it a thumbs up on YouTube. and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Add a positive review on Apple Podcasts, and that will help us grow the channel. All logos, sounds, and music that are made by and for Survivor are owned solely by CBS Eye Productions, Survivor Productions LLC, CBS Studios, Castaway Television, and Mark Burnett Productions, and are not, nor are they intended to be owned by The Solo Show podcast. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure on The Solo Show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.